can I say, what have I experienced being around Swami's physical form for so many years, since my birth? What have I seen that I can speak about gratitude? And over again, it always came back to Swami. Swami never told us to do anything that he himself didn't do. So I kept thinking. I came up with so many examples. But suddenly in the year 2000, I had a wonderful example of Swami showing gratitude. So today I thought I must share that with you. This theme is about gratitude. We talk about the Lord. We say we must show gratitude to Him. But look at Him, He did not have to come and do all this for us. But having come down, He set such an example. He set such an example. So for those of you who have known some of the old Puttaparthi, I know Brother Swaminathan is here. He knows the old Puttaparthi like me. Many of you have seen the old Puttaparthi when many of the facilities that are there now were not there. When I was a child, we used to say Puttaparthi Swami must have carved out of the rocks. It was a Stone Age village. Nothing was there. But the beauty of this wonderful creation, our beloved Lord, Swami was there. So with all the difficulty we used to make our way, even though I was born and brought up in Bangalore, only 100 miles, it used to take us forever to get there. But as children, we were taken there, all our summer holidays, our Christmas holidays, our Navaratri, Dasara holidays, everything was spent in Puttaparthi. And in those days, there was no milk or anything to make, and there were just a few rooms where we stayed in Prashanti Nilayam. And the milk used to come, the milk people, the milkman, like the old, the villagers used to come and sell milk in pots on the outside gate of the Prashanti Nilayam gate, where you have the Ganesha gate now. Those who have seen that gate, outside the milkman or the milk ladies, they used to bring pots of milk and they used to sell the milk. So all my family members, old-timers, all South Indian women could not live for a second without coffee. Swami or no Swami, they needed coffee first. So first thing in the morning they want coffee, and we were all young children, so we were all, they used to get some milk for us to drink. So there was one gentleman, his name was Dasharatha Ram Reddy. He was from Hyderabad. He had retired, and I remember seeing him as a child. He was an older man. And his job, there were hardly any people in those days, hardly 20 devotees, 30 devotees in that Prashanti Nilayam. And previous night he would come to each of the 5 or 6 or 8 families that were there and say, how many of you want milk tomorrow? How much milk? He was not any milkman. He was a chief engineer of some project in Hyderabad. He used to come to Prashanti Nilayam and this was his seva. In those days there was no seva there was nothing much to do seva there also. We used to sit and listen to Swami morning till night and go home. At that time even the organization was not there. So he would come and ask in Telugu, hey mamma, andurku paal kavalna, do you all want milk? So all the ladies would say, I want 1 liter, or not even liter, they used to sell in those earthen pots. So they'll say, we want one pot of milk or 2 pots. So every morning I remember, just as our dhyanam, in Prashanti Nilayam, the 21 Omkarams and Suprabhatam would get over, by the time it got over and came to the room, Dasharatha Ram Reddy Garu used to bring the pots of milk and hand it over to each of the rooms. There were only 8 rooms. Where you now see South Prashanti, there were 8 rooms there. If you have seen old videos, you would have seen. So he would bring it. So with that milk, these people would. For years and years and years, he delivered the milk. His wife, she would sit, again, I'm sure all of you have been to Prashanti Nilayam, or most of you have, where there is the entrance, the ladies' entrance to go into the mandir. There is a tulsi plant, there is a Brindavan there where a tulsi plant is grown. There his wife and all my older aunts would sit together and make garlands for Swami. So they used to make, and at that time they used to garland once Swami, as soon as he came in the morning, 6 a.m. Swami used to give darshan, that time 1 garland. Then after the bhajan, one garland. And then after the interview, third garland. So some reason or the other to go on garlanding him. And these ladies would buy all, used to get very good jasmine flowers in Puttaparthi. So they were all day long, I remember, seeing these ladies sitting there making garlands. And Swami would come out. I remember my old aunt used to be there. She was quite old. She used to look after Swami when he was a child, my aunt, my mother's aunt actually. So she used to be making garlands, and Swami will come. Her name was Savitramma. And Swami would come and say, Savitramma, you have been going on making garlands. Show me how to make garlands. See, Swami was young, you know. Show me how to make garlands, how to make garlands. You know, that is quite an art to tie those flowers together. Those of you have seen in India, you know, they will put the two flowers together and make a little loop around the flowers. And if you pull too hard, the stems will break. If you don't tie it properly, it will fall out. So the garland will be non-existent. So these ladies all day long, they used to make 4 feet garlands to garland Swami on every occasion. After bhajan, evening, after dinner, Swami, everybody would say good night to Swami upstairs. Everybody would go like, then also one garland. So whole day this garland job was going on. So Swami would come and say, Savitramma, Savitramma, show me how to make garlands. And she will say, Swami, she will show, Swami will try to tie, the flowers will fall. He will try to pull hard, the flowers will break. She was an older lady, she was older than Swami. And she would joke and say, in this avatar, you will not learn how to make garlands. You forget about it. You do something else, which is more within your capacity. He will say, no, show me one more time, show me one more time. So they didn't want to waste the flowers because Swami will break the stems. So in a small bowl, they would give him a few flowers and say, you try it with these flowers. If you can do it, fine. If you can't do it, that's it. We are not giving you any more flowers. And please remember, these garlands are being made to garland him at the end of the day. So Swami will sit there, try it. And we used to see this as children. We would all, as soon as he came near the flowers, we would run and see, let's see what happens between Savitramma and Swami today. And Swami will tie a few, it will fall, break a few. And suddenly, he will start tying, and before you know it, he would have a beautiful garland, longer and better done than all these women put together. He says, you women are taking 3 hours to make one garland? Look at my garland. It's better than your garland. You can garland me this with the bhajan time. When everybody can see, you can tell everybody, Swami only had to make his own garland today. We people are so useless. He used to joke. So anyway, this garland was a side story. I remember I started with Mrs. Dasharatha Ramareddy. So this lady would go on making garlands. And she would make the most beautiful. And all these garlands would be different, 5 a day. Each garland would be different from the other. So every time we would look forward what garland she has made. For so many years, she made garlands. She would clean that area where Swami might come and sit in case he wants to make the garland. She would sweep it. She would mop. This is called reverence. See, we have come here. We have set up this chair, and with the robe of Swami's there, we have set up. We feel that Swami is here with us. If we see any mess around, I know that immediately Shailesh and I or any one of you will think, oh, we have set it up for Swami. How can we have this mess? If Swami comes here and we can physically see him, will we keep it like this? Immediately those thoughts come. So in the same way, that lady, she used to mop, whether Swami came or not. Mop. So many years we saw her. And Swami used to talk to her. And then suddenly, after many years, I don't remember the year, Swami said, no more garlands. No more garlanding. Use that time, energy, money, whatever it is, for other things. So this beautiful ritual that had come along for so many years, that garlanding stopped. So these ladies who were the garland ladies, as we call them, Haramamailu, Swami used to call them, garland women. Haram, they used to make harum as garland in Telugu. Stopped. They got other jobs. They started to do other work. Many years went by. I think somewhere in the 80s, Swami stopped it. And that was it, this older lady. And then she used to come and go Mr. Reddy, her husband, passed away. She used to come and sit. Many times I used to see her in Prashanti Nilayam, and I would say, "How are you doing, auntie?" Say, "I'm doing okay, Amma." And all the people, of course, Sai Kulwant was built later, but all the people who used to sit in the sand did not know who this lady was. She became one in the Buddhi line, as they used to call, one in the old ladies' line. She used to come and sit. Nobody knew her history. Who is she? What has she done? Swami used to come and go, not much more conversation between her and Swami. So when Swami in his physical form was not talking much more to her, she also lost her importance, her place in life, her place. But she, with great faith and love for Swami, continued to come. This went on for some years. Suddenly, when I was in Brindavan, in I think 2001 or 2, I saw her sitting at a distance. She had become quite an older person. And I saw her, and after Swami's darshan, I went up to her and I said, "Sairam, auntie, how are you? So nice to see you." And her face was filled with excitement. She said, "Geetama, will you come to my room after darshan? I want to tell you, I have to share this. I have nobody here of my family. I want to share this with you. You are one person I have known since your birth. Why don't you come?" So I went to her room. "Auntie, what happened? You are looking so excited." She was actually quite a serious lady, not somebody who would be joking around too much. So she said, "You know what happened? I have to share this with you." So I said, "What happened?" She said, "I was staying in Prashanti Nilayam, and suddenly, 10 days ago, 2 boys, they came and knocked on my room door. And I opened the door, 2 college students were standing there. So this is an elderly lady, by herself. So she said, "What do you want?" And these boys said, "Amma, we have come from Brindavan, from Bangalore. This is in Prashanti Nilayam. We have come from Brindavan. Swami has asked us to bring you to Bangalore." So this lady got a shock of her life. She said, No, you must be mistaking me for someone else. Swami would not have asked me to. You are young boys, you please go and ask. I'm not coming anywhere with you. Swami has not spoken to her in 20 years. So something like that. She said, No, I don't think you young boys have mistaken me for someone else. You go and I'm not coming. The boys tried to convince her, come. She said, No, I'm not coming. If I come like that without Swami's permission from Prashanti Nilayam, he will get very upset. Why will Swami talk to me suddenly? There is no reason for this. I'm not coming. So these boys drove back to Brindavan, Whitefield from Prashanti Nilayam. Swami was waiting there and said, "Hey boys, did you bring her?" "Swami, that lady didn't come, Swami." Swami said, "Did you go correctly to the correct room? I told you West Prashanti, which room number and everything. Did you go to her?" "Yes, Swami, same number. Older lady?" "Yes, Swami, Did you ask her name?" I said, "No, Swami, we didn't ask her name. You told me to number it." No, you go back again. Anyway, so those poor boys were sent back again on the same day back to Puttaparthi from Vrindavan. And this lady said, 4:30 in the morning, somebody is knocking. Again these 2 boys have come back. They said, "Amma, please, we beg of you, come with us. Swami is getting very angry with us. He is saying, I told you to bring that lady. Why are you people coming back like this? You go and bring her." Again the lady said, No, boys, it must be somebody in the round building or in that Shanti building. Some VIPs must be there, staying in that Shanti Sadan or whatever. All these VIP ladies are there. It must be in that room. Please go and ask. I am just a nobody here. I am just staying here. No, Ma. Is your name Dasharath Ram Reddy Garu's wife? Are you Dasharath Ram Reddy Garu's wife? She said, Yes, I am his wife. Then please, Amma, it is you. Please come with us. Otherwise, he will throw us out of the college. So this poor lady, really petrified that she was doing something against Swami's wishes, put 2 saris into one bag, and all through the journey, this is all she's telling me, all through the journey I kept saying, Sai Rama, don't throw me out of this Prashanti Nilayam. I don't know who these boys are. They are dragging me to you. If you get angry with me, it's not much. She said, I did Nirantara Namasmarana 100 miles, I reached Vrindavan. By the time she reached evening darshan, she was sitting there, she said she was shaking in her legs. Swami came for darshan, came straight to her And she had tears in her eyes. She said, he started to scold me, but I didn't even hear the scolding, Gita, because after 20 years he was talking to me. I didn't even register that he was scolding me. He said, what is wrong with you? Acting like a big lady. I sent these poor boys once all the way from Bangalore to Prashanti Nilayam, told them to bring, and you said, I'm not coming, and you send them back. You said, I'm not coming when Swami is inviting you. She said, I had tears. I didn't answer. I didn't say I'm not coming. I was afraid to come. Then he said, why didn't you come? I had to send those boys again. I had to tell them you're Dasharath Ram Reddy's wife. Finally you have come. After 20 years I was hearing his voice. Then finally he said, you know why I asked you to come? Then he said, a day after tomorrow, I am going to Kodaikanal. I am going to take you to Kodaikanal with me. So I brought you here. She said, why is he taking me to Kodaikanal? 20 years he has not talked to me. Suddenly where this Kodaikanal business came? She's immediately, as a typical woman, she said, oh my God, I only brought 2 saris. How can I go with Kodaikanal? With Swami. Swami, he's in our heart. He can see our every thought, hear our every thought, see everything we do. He said, I know, you came only with 2 saris. And he called Mrs. Ratan Lal and said, you take her to the city and you get her some saris. I said, can you believe? She took me to the city and for 10 days got me 10 Kanjivaram saris. They are expensive saris. Not only that, the petticoat for the sari, the blouse for the sari, and then how to carry suitcase also she bought for me. Bought everything, came back. Afternoon darshan, Swami said, suitcase techava? Did you bring suitcase? Did you buy all the sari? Then Swami joked that you bought some powder also for your face. Swami, I bought. She's an elderly lady, an old-fashioned lady. I brought everything. He said, no, you have to look nice. I'm taking you in the aeroplane. Have you been in an aeroplane before? No, Swami, I've never gone on a plane in my life. Then you're going to come, you have to dress up nicely. You should see how nicely those stewardesses said, everybody dress up. You should dress up nicely. So he told her all these things. The next day, first time in her life, she got into a chartered flight with Swami and flew to Madurai and stayed in Kodaikanal. And she came back. And she said, we came back 1 week back. After that, every day Swami is asking me, did you enjoy? Did you enjoy? So, this thing. So I said, how wonderful for you. You had such an episode. She said, yes, after 20 years, till now I have not understood why he didn't talk to me and why he took me now. She told me all this. Next day, in Vrindavan, Swami called me inside for an interview room. And as soon as I walked in, Swami said, Yemi Samacharam, what news? I couldn't contain myself. Swami, I met Dasharath Ram Reddy Garu's wife yesterday evening, Swami. She told, she's very excited. Not because of me, because first time she came in the plane. Swami joked, came in the plane. No, Swami, she had tears in her eyes. You had not talked to her for 20 years. I said, what is for her? It's 20 years. For me, it is 2 minutes. For me, it is 2 minutes. What is 20 years? Take out the 0, only 2 is left. For me, it is 2 minutes. So I said, Swami, why, Swami, for 20 years you didn't talk to me? She had to do the Namasmarana, for 20 years. When I was easily available, she was making garland. 20 years now, she said, now I'm not doing garland. I don't see Swami every day. He's far away from me. He stopped the garland. Oh, that garland, I could have done even better for him. Every day she's sitting in Prashanti Nilayam and thinking of me every minute. After 20 years, see, she came with me in the plane. Then he said, but you know why I really took her? I wanted my boys to see how thankful of her service I was. I was so thankful for her service. For so many years, she cleaned the Prashanti Nilayam floor. For so many years, she made beautiful garlands. Not even once she garlanded me. She made it for the others so that they could get the joy of garlanding me. She never garlanded me, Bangaru. As a woman, she always felt she would make it and give it to her husband. She would make it and give it to the children whose birthday it was. She would make it and give it to the students who got first rank. She never garlanded me. She made it for others. And got the joy when they garlanded me, and from a distance she'd say, Swami, you're looking so nice in that garland. I wanted to thank her for her services. That, my brothers and sisters, is gratitude.